Hey everybody, this is Brian with Bear Cards 34. Today I'm coming back with a little video. Last night when I returned from work, I had a package arrive in the mail for a card that I was really looking forward to, and immediately upon opening it became very discouraged. I don't know if this has ever happened to any of you guys before, so I purchased this off of eBay, and this was from a seller who has a 100% rating. They've sold a lot of cards. But anyway, I had been trying to bid for this card for quite some time, so I will just show you. This is the card that I picked up. This is a Reggie White Topps 1984 USFL rookie card. And unfortunately, not long after, pretty much right away, I don't know if you can tell on here, but this card has absolutely been trimmed, so something must have been kind of dodgy with the corner up here, and this has just been sliced in right there. It was very noticeable immediately. For a second, I wanted to take a quick glance just to see if my eyes were deceiving me, but sure enough, if you look at the top loader here, and in fact, I'll put this is a Reggie White's NFL rookie card. This is a really nice copy that I got from my buddy Mike, who gave me a really good deal on that, which I really appreciate. But if you match up the card right here, you can see the 86 Topps border getting wider as it goes. So that was very discouraging. It's extremely obvious. Look at that right there. If you look in the top loader, I don't know if you can really see that too well, but, from bottom to top, absolutely got trimmed near the top. Now, in the picture for this, the camera had been, the angle of the camera, instead of a front view, it was more like, the card was laying down and then the picture was taken. So it was a little bit deceiving to be able to notice based on that angle, of a picture, kind of like this, I would say, as opposed to being straight up like this. So I was very disappointed in that. Now, in fairness, I did contact the seller, and they are going to do a refund, so I'm returning that later today. But to pay that kind of money for, because the USFL cards are more rare than the Topps NFL counterparts, and for a Hall of Famer like Reggie, those cards can get up there. And it was discouraging as well because I'm only 3 cards away from the set, but they're 3 big ones. So Reggie White, Jim Kelly, and Herschel Walker. And those cards go for a pretty penny. So anyway, I am, grateful that they'll return that. I sent an email to the seller contacting them, letting them know what I was seeing and showing pictures of the very obvious trimming that has been done on that card. They didn't reply to the email, but they did send the return information. So I am grateful they're returning it. I'm hopeful that they weren't aware, but this is someone who has sold thousands of cards. It's just so obvious. So anyway, that's discouraging, but just as a heads up to people when you're, and I saw the picture, and like I said, at the angle, it looked fine to me at the time. The seller has sold a lot and has a really good score, but that is one of the risks that you take, I guess. Luckily, they're returning it. But anyway, what do you guys think about that? Yeah, it's very, very obvious and discouraging. That being said, I thought that I would do a little confessional of my own. Some people, like, obviously, if you're doing the trim, that is a deliberate thing. But who knows the history of that and when that may have happened. But I will say, for my own confessional, this is my biggest sports card mistake ever, my biggest sports card regret ever. And honestly, I've been debating whether or not to ever even film a video about this, because it's very embarrassing and it breaks my heart as far as my love for sports cards. This happened when I was a little kid, and that's why I'm trying to give myself a pass, but even now it stings quite a bit. So when I was young, My first cards that I purchased as a kid when I was collecting was 1988 Topps. I had started getting interested in it in 1987 when my brother opened a box. And so when I was 13 for Christmas and birthdays and things, we would always ask for cards. And my mom purchased me this Brian Piccolo rookie card. It's misspelled, but I'm named after him. So it's really B-R-I-A-N, but they spelled it B-R-Y-O-N on the front and B-R-Y-A-N on the back. Anyway, with this card, and the corners are soft, the surface is kind of rough. This wasn't like a mint card or anything. But as a kid, as a 13-year-old, I don't know if it was a red Sharpie or a red marker, but I noticed that a lot of the red was coming off. And so what did I do as a kid? I took a red pen, a red marker of some sort, and I just kind of colored in a little bit here, maybe a little bit there, maybe a little bit up here, and definitely tarnished the card. Now, I was not doing that. There was no such thing as like PSA grading for cards, at least not that I knew of at the time. And I wasn't looking at it as like an investment to sell. It was just my card that I loved of the player I was named after. And I thought, oh, hey, I'll make it look a little nicer. There's my 12, 13-year-old brain doing that. And I will tell you that within a year of that, I had already regretted what I had done and realized that I had, devalued the card. So I still have this in a mag anyway, just because it's very sentimental to me. I was named after him. My mom found this card for me. It was a gift, so I love this card, but it's definitely, one of those things I regret. But wait, there's more, and it gets worse. So there is one other card I have that is an excellent card that also has a red background. And so there's a video by Card Wolf where he had been referencing some of the sports cards with the black borders and how some people would take a black Sharpie and kind of color those in too. And I had commented, oh, I've got a story to tell, and this is it. So unfortunately, that card, I am really glad. I will show you this. Okay, so right here, this is my Brian Piccolo Near Mint 8 PSA. So this one obviously is the valuable of the two cards. This is the obviously nicer of the two cards, with or without my horrible touch-ups, right? You can see the clarity on the surface. I mean, this would have been a low-graded card anyway. But yeah, so I'm very glad to have the graded copy. But this one is more sentimental to me, despite that. Okay, here's the other one, and this one hurts. Okay, Terry Bradshaw, rookie card, 1971. Now, same thing, and you can even see right up here in the corner, a little bit of red ink in that corner, little touch of ink in that corner, and then same thing with the bottom corner. So that's basically what I did, and there is a tiny crease right here, and so I think I may have just gone right over that. So I dotted each corner with red and then did that. Very blasphemous, I know, and it stings, yeah, to even think about. So I love this card. Again, this is a card that my parents got me, when I was a kid, and luckily for me, these were the only two cards I did it to. Had I owned more cards with red border that were vintage back then, I'm sure I would have done it to them too. I still remember doing this. I remember sitting in my room and getting the pen or the marker and then quote unquote correcting, also known as ruining, these two cards. But the reason I wanted to bring that up is, first of all, yeah, that's horrible, right? Oh, yeah. But also, for me, I have this collection, right? Now, if I were to sell this collection, I would want to make sure that and I'm not going to sell it, I'm keeping this forever, but if I were to sell it, I would need to make sure to let people know that these cards have been altered. Now, this wasn't done as part of a scam or to rip anybody off. This was just me as a kid being dumb. But I'm sure there are other instances of that too, and so it's about, being careful, inspecting your cards, making sure you know what you've got. You know, and I've told my kids that I did that to these 2 cards just so they're aware as well. So someday when they own those, if that's a thing, someone with a good trained eye is going to probably be able to spot those. I mean, I think it's pretty, I don't know if it shows up on camera. It blends in pretty well from a distance, but once you get up close, you can see that. Yeah, so that's a rough one. So there's my confessional. Whew, feel a little better now. Yeah, so anyway, when I saw the trimmed Reggie White card, it just reminded me of that. But yeah, like I said, I'm really glad that the seller will take the return, and I'll put that money towards looking for another Reggie White, and hopefully I'll be able to get that. But anyway, thanks for watching. I appreciate that. If you guys have any comments or any stories of your own, either finding trimmed cards or maybe even sending cards into PSA and being told they were trimmed or altered, any experiences you guys have, let me know. I'd be interested to hear. But that's going to do it for today. So we'll let Reggie make one last appearance here. It's disappointing, you know. Reggie was my late brother Brad. That was his all-time favorite player. So we had a family full of Bears fans, except for my brother, who was a Packers fan, because of Reggie White. And you know, when I was a teenager, I wrote to Reggie, and he sent me a handful of autographed cards, including this one right here. So those are some of my favorite autographs that I have. And like I said, you know, I've had the Reggie rookie card for quite a while, but it was kind of banged up because I got it, you know, passed down from who knows who to have it in my collection as a kid. And so it was really nice to be able to upgrade from Mike. But anyway, that's going to do it for today. Thanks for watching. I appreciate your time. As always, feel free to like and subscribe, and I'll be back with more videos in the near future.